Yeah, so may I request all speakers, dignitaries, and special guests to kindly join us for the official group photograph. We request delegates to remain seated for a few moments while the photograph is completed. Thank you.
Disabled people at all five-star facilities. How does he do it? Let me come to a very simple man. When the Prime Minister went to Kerala, he met a man called Sri Raman. What does he do? Sorry, no revolutions. He supplied so far about 200,000 tiny mud pots to families. He says, keep it on your window. Your 3-year-old daughter can put some water into that and birds will not die of dehydration. A 3-year-old girl can do it. Prime Minister met him when he went to Cochin. Ladies and gentlemen, wait.
Good morning. I'll try to set myself a little bit higher so it's not the flowers that are speaking. And especially grateful to be here in this LAC First by an interview that we have already had a couple of days ago. I already expressed the opinion in name of my country, Uruguay. I would like to welcome you all in the name of the GRULAC. GRULAC is a Latin American group of ambassadors and Caribbean high commissioners in India, which at the moment we are 24. The total number is 33, but in India we are 24. And I can tell you that I'm very proud to be a little bit guiding this group in the sense that we have very active and contributive members who are all the time expressing.
Kerastase Gloss Absolute glazes your hair. 4 days anti-frizz, bouncy, glossy hair, mesmerizing scent.
Discover new Gloss Absolute Creme for thick, frizzy hair.
Kerastase.
That is the Indian way. It is opening an embassy, we hope, next month in Uruguay. It is also going to open an embassy in Costa Rica. And we are about to have more or less the region covered. We are saying that India is coming a little bit late in this opportunity because there are many things to do. We are ready to do business. We are already doing that with the $50 billion that is surrounding our trade for a little bit more, maybe 53 billion for this year. And we expect to double that for the year 2030. So we will be ready when India becomes a developed country to already be in the scene and start with continuing with the trend of doing things together. Because of that long roots that we have in the cultural field, we need also to recognize that our region is a region of peace. We do not have nuclear arms, and we are proud of that. The Treaty of Tlatelolco, Mexico, has really given us a guide in that sense. And we are also a region that is incorporating all the modern devices that are needed, for example, in renewable energies, and also in the production and extraction of minerals, one of the important factors of the relationship in which many of our countries are already providing these materials to the Indian economy. So we think that it is important to link the private sector of both regions, and I think we need to know each other much more. It is important that you travel to our countries. It is important that you see our realities. And it is important that you get to identify us. We are a hemisphere in the southern of America. The Americans call themselves America, and we call ourselves Latin Americans. And we have our differences, but you need to know what is the difference that we have in each of our countries. As we are trying to learn, of course, what India has to offer to us. And we know that because of this diversity, because of these differences and this fantastic and unique reality that India offers us, we need to engage in further links and in further possibilities of even developing more what brings us together. So in this course of issues, I wish that this LAC First can be able to put together that private sector. I don't think it is a matter of creating chambers of commerce, because the chambers of commerce are very nice in name, but I prefer them to be effective in the results. And that is something that we need to encourage, and we need to find, and we need to explore ourselves in many matters, so we can be able to be innovative and at the same time profit from all the new technologies that are there and ready and able for us. So I probably I'm also happy that there is a representative of a Uruguayan company here in India, established in Noida, Berkes, and Bruno is going to tell us a little bit about his perspective in this country. And as Berkes, there are many other companies that are establishing themselves in India, that they're also investing in India, and where we also hope that India enlarges its investment in our countries. We have already an example for more than 25 years, that is Tata Consulting Services, that established itself in Uruguay for more than 25 years. They have made a great success in that. They have expanded to all of South America. And it's a good example on how you can do good business in our countries. So with that, I thank you all, and I wish you all the best during your conversations, during your discussions, and during the time you can exchange points of view about things that we can do together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for sharing a compelling diplomatic perspective on the future of India, Latin America, and the Caribbean nations' relations. And now, as you're all aware, trade remains one of the strongest bridges between nations. It is now my honor to invite Shri Ajay Sahai, Director General and CEO, Federation of Indian Export Organizations, to deliver the keynote address.
His Excellency Alberto Iguani, Coordinator and Ambassador of Uruguay, His Excellency the Ambassador and High Commissioner of different Latin American and Caribbean countries, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Dr. Alfonso, former Union Minister for Tourism and a person who is known as the Demolition Man in New Delhi, Mr. Amrin Khatwa, former diplomat, exporters, traders, entrepreneurs, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you, and let me extend a very warm welcome to each one of you in this conference of India LAC partnership in a context of the new global development. Global economy is passing through huge uncertainties, geopolitical conflict, tariff war, increasing protectionism, rising non-tariff business, huge volatility in currencies and commodities has definitely impacted the global trade. Coming to India and Caribbean countries, we too are the complementary economies, and therefore I was expecting much better trade results. For me, distance, high freight cost, language barrier, market access issues are not the real issue. It is the mental block. If we can export 18% of the total export to a distant geography like US, why not to Latin America, with whom, despite Focus LAC program, which was launched roughly 3 decades back, it is not even accounting for 5% of my exports. I slightly differ from Mr. Sayan Chakravarti, who has raised a quite optimistic picture. I'm a little disappointed with these trade numbers, and let me substantiate with figures. India's exports in calendar year 2025 stood at $447 billion. Our export to LAC and Caribbean countries were $21.5 billion, which puts a share of 4.6%. These numbers are a little more disappointing when I'm looking into the import appetite of the LAC. The global import of LAC in 2025.
And especially grateful to be here in this LAC First by an interview that we have already had a couple of days ago. I already expressed the opinion in name of my country, Uruguay. I would like to welcome you all in the name of the GRULAC. GRULAC is a Latin American group of ambassadors and Caribbean high commissioners in India, which at the moment we are 24. The total number is 33, but in India we are 24. And I can tell you that I'm very proud to be a little bit guiding this group in the sense that we have very active and contributive members who are all the time expressing what is going on and how India should incentivize its presence in our region. It is doing so in a pace that is the Indian way. It is opening an embassy, we hope, next month in Uruguay. It is also going to open an embassy in Costa Rica. And we are about to have more or less the region covered. We are saying that India is coming a little bit late in this opportunity because there are many things to do. We are ready to do business. We are already doing that with the $50 billion that is surrounding our trade for a little bit more, maybe 53 billion for this year, and we expect to double that for the year 2030. So we will be ready when India becomes a developed country to already be in the scene and start with continuing with the trend of doing things together. Because of that long roots that we have in the cultural field, we need also to recognize that our region is a region of peace. We do not have nuclear arms, and we are proud of that. The Treaty of Tlatelolco, Mexico, has really given us a guide in that sense. And we are also a region that is incorporating all the modern devices that are needed, for example, in renewable energies, and also in the production and extraction of minerals, one of the important factors of the relationship, in which many of our countries are already providing these materials to the Indian economy. So we think that it is important to link the private sector of both regions, and I think we need to know each other much more. It is important that you travel to our countries. It is important that you see our realities, and it is important that you get to identify us. We are a hemisphere in the southern of America. The Americans call themselves America, and we call ourselves Latin Americans. And we have our differences, but you need to know what is the difference that we have in each of our countries. As we are trying to learn, of course, what India has to offer to us. And we know that because of this diversity, because of this differences and this fantastic and unique reality that India offers us, we need to engage in further links and in further possibilities of even developing more what brings us together. So in this course of issues, I wish that this LAC First can be able to put together that private sector. I don't think it is a matter of creating chambers of commerce, because the chambers of commerce are very nice in name, but I prefer them to be effective in the results. And that is something that we need to encourage, and we need to find, and we need to explore ourselves in many matters, so we can be able to be innovative and at the same time profit from all the new technologies that are there and ready and able for us. So I probably I'm also happy that there is a representative of a Uruguayan company here in India, established in Noida, Berkes, and Bruno is going to tell us a little bit about his perspective in this country. And as Berkes, there are many other companies that are establishing themselves in India, that they're also investing in India, and where we also hope that India enlarges its investment in our countries. We have already an example for more than 25 years, that is Tata Consulting Services, that established itself in Uruguay for more than 25 years. They have made a great success in that. They have expanded to all of South America. And it's a good example on how you can do good business in our countries. So with that, I thank you all, and I wish you all the best during your conversations, during your discussions, and during the time you can exchange points of view about things that we can do together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for sharing a compelling diplomatic perspective on the future of India, Latin America, and the Caribbean nations relations. And now, as you're all aware, trade remains one of the strongest bridges between nations. It is now my honor to invite Shri Ajay Sahai, Director General and CEO, Federation of Indian Export Organizations, to deliver the keynote address.
His Excellency Alberto A. Guani, Coordinator and Ambassador of Uruguay, His Excellency the Ambassador and High Commissioner of different Latin American and Caribbean countries, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Dr. Alfonso, former Union Minister for Tourism and a person who is known as the Demolition Man in New Delhi, Mr. Amrin Khatwa, former diplomat, exporters, traders, entrepreneurs, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you, and let me extend a very warm welcome to each one of you in this conference of India LAC partnership in a context of the new global development. The global economy is passing through huge uncertainties, geopolitical conflict, tariff war, increasing protectionism, rising non-tariff bills, huge volatility in currencies and commodities has definitely impacted the global trade. Coming to India and Caribbean countries, we too are the complementary economies, and therefore I was expecting much better trade results. For me, distance, high freight cost, language barrier, market access issues are not the real issue. It is the mental block. If we can export 18% of the total export to a distant geography like US, why not to Latin America, with whom, despite Focus LAC program, which was launched roughly 3 decades back, it is not even accounting for 5% of my exports. I slightly differ from Mr. Sayan Chakravarti, who has raised a quite optimistic picture. I'm a little disappointed with these trade numbers, and let me substantiate with figures. India's exports in calendar year 2025 stood at $447 billion. Our export to LAC and Caribbean countries were $21.5 billion, which puts a share of 4.6%. These numbers are a little more disappointing when I'm looking into the import appetite of the LAC. The global import of LAC in 2025 stood at $1.5 trillion. Our export of $21 billion puts it a share of 1.4%. Even when I'm looking into my top exports to LAC and Caribbean, including automobile and auto components, we have a share of 3.6% in their total imports. In pharma, and we claim to be pharmacy of the world, I have a share of 4.2%. Only in chemicals and specialty chemical, I have a share of more than 5%. In machinery and mechanical appliances, we have a share of 0.8%. In electrical and electronics, we have a share of 0.5%. It is not that we are not having the manufacturing capability or exports. Today, my export of machinery is close to $54 billion. Our export to Latin American countries is $1.2 billion. Similarly, if you look into the electronics sector, which is rising, and very soon it may be the top 2 exporting products from India.
Introducing EcoVac's all-new DBET N50 Pro with upgraded zero tingle, achieving a tingling rate as low as 0%. With 25,000 PA and strong airflow, it easily conquers deep cleaning, while the upgraded True Edge conquers every edge for 100% cleaning coverage. It integrates automatic self-cleaning with hot water, brings a truly hands-free experience. DBET N50 Pro, created for ease for Indian homes.
$1.5 trillion globally. So if I'm looking at the share, India accounts for about 2% of their total exports. When I'm looking from the perspective of India's import of $759 billion in 2025, they account for roughly 4.2% of India's imports. And from their side, I think the basket is extremely limited. The top 5 chapters, including precious metal and precious stones, petroleum and natural gas, animal and animal feed products, oats and minerals, sugar. They account for roughly 80% of their total exports to India. That means in balance 93 chapters of LHS group, their export is less than 20% of their total exports. They have tremendous possibility in increasing their exports in number of sectors. India is importing today crude and petroleum and natural gas to the tune of $206 billion. Their share in that is 2%. Distance is not a barrier. India is now importing these products from US and Canada. Why not from the Latin American countries? If I'm looking into my electronics imports, it has crossed $100 billion. Their share in my electronics import is just 0.4%. In machinery import, which in 2025 was $70 billion, their share is just 0.7%. We have to travel a long distance, and I'm pretty sure this type of conference will throw much light on what needs to be done from both the sides. The good thing is that India is aggressively pursuing its FTA strategy. We have formed up many FTA in the recent past. There is distinct shift in India's strategy of FTA. We are now looking at FTA with the countries who are complementary economies and our major markets. We will be very soon having an FTA with Peru. 9 rounds of discussions have happened, and I'm pretty sure this year we are going to finalize that. We are looking into elevating India-Chile PTA to India-Chile Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. We are working on India-Mercosur FTA also. We need to look into that FTA is not just confined to the original member, it is extended to the associate members, and I'm pretty sure both sides will work on that. I'm sure once we have these FTA and preferential agreement in place, we will be accelerating our bilateral trade with these geographies. To me, the biggest opportunity lies in services, whether it's IT and IT-enabled services, health services, telemedicine, education, digital public infrastructure. We need to look into the opportunity which can be in these economies, and we can also look into the joint venture with these economies. India also is attracting huge investment. With the signing of FTA with UK, which will be operational next year, we are expecting huge investment to flow from UK that will be followed by EU. And with the countries looking into the alternative source of manufacturing, India is all set to attract investment. We have PLI scheme rolled out for 15 sectors. We have seen its impact in the mobile segment and the electronic sector. API and pharmaceutical is also set to give the desired result, and therefore I will urge all the ambassadors who are present here to look into the option which India is offering. We are providing now the plug and play facility in our industrial zone. It is not required that you come and struggle in procuring the land or constructing the building. The state-of-art factories will be available to you so that you can start the production. Let me stop by concluding that we are not just looking our relationship with the LACs and Caribbean from the perspective of trade and investment. We are looking into integrating into them into the supply chain. Please bear in mind, the world is not looking for the most efficient supply chain. The world is looking for the safe and secure supply chain, and LAC and India can build the supply chain. So let us work together. Let us see that we very strictly build this kind of supply chain and give a boost to our bilateral relationship. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sahai, for that wonderful, insightful perspective that you shared. So now we move on to a series of special interventions. May I first invite Ambassador Amarendra Khatwa, former Ambassador of India to Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay.
Good morning to all of you. When we are talking about India-Latin American connection, our relationship, three, four things are very important. That as Ajay has spoken, our trade potential is not at all realized properly. So today, India's like India Latin American trade is about $22.55 billion. It should be about $50 billion. And out of this, if you take out India's trade with Brazil, Mexico, and Colombia, the trade figures are very insignificant. Two, when you are talking about India's investment, other than the investment in critical minerals by Cabil in Argentina, which is about $2 billion, most of our investment are very limited. Why I'm saying this, potential exists. Say what our major exports are basically motor vehicles, petroleum products, pharmaceuticals, and chemicals. And our imports are mostly crude oil, gold, and agricultural commodities, including edible oil. As I have said, the three major trading partners are Brazil, Mexico, and Colombia. But with each of the countries, you have tremendous trade potential. One, when you are talking about India's pulse and lentil security, we must look at Latin America way. Second, building of processing in Latin America, say we are talking about our air link is not there, distance is too much, many shipping lines are not operating, but you can have the warehouse-based operational system. Say, for example, when you are talking about Paraguay, Uruguay, build up your warehousing facilities and see how you can process the things there and send the shipments to India. Say edible oil security we are talking about, or lots of business people, we export lots of products to Africa, especially food grains, to Middle East, pulses, lentils, oil seeds, and lots of other products. These products now we are sourcing from the open market. We can establish link up in Latin America, stable links with producers, suppliers, and try to this warehouse processing scheme to supply to Africa. Both the sides will benefit. Say, for example, when we are talking about electronics, when Tata went there.
Big dreams start small. At GoDaddy, we help you take that first step and every step after. From getting your domain to creating your website, email, and online security, we've got you covered. You don't need to be a tech expert. You just need a starting point. GoDaddy gives you the tools, the expert support, and the push to make it real. Your brand starts here with GoDaddy.
And especially each of the businessmen need to visit and establish direct contact. Language is not such a big problem, it is. But now the language-based cadre for trade is building up in most of these countries. Then when you're talking about lithium, India's need will increase tremendously. And the triangle is there. Already Cabil investment has taken place in Argentina. Now time has come, in critical mineral sector, we should talk to each of our Latin American countries, try to invest there, try to process there and build up linkage. Then when we are talking about Indian investment, it is about $20 billion in whole of Latin America. Time has come through technical credit, through industrial credit, through banking finance, we must have financial presence in many of the Latin American countries. So for example, Venezuela, since long time we are importing oil, we are processing there. Most of the private sector refineries are processing Venezuelan oil and exporting it back. We are also importing from Brazil. We are also importing from Mexico. With all these countries, when we are processing them, we can also see where we can invest and what kind of new products we can produce for those markets. Then, tourism part. Unfortunately, India's tourism to countries like Vietnam, to Cambodia, to Sri Lanka, to Tunisia, to Morocco has increased multifold. But India's tourism traffic to Latin America is about 1.2 to 1.5 lakhs, which is absolutely, we are talking about so much people contact relationship, actually we are not doing much. Here comes, say for example, publicity, people-to-people contact, and how to promote tourism and have a regular tourism agency, tourism promotion conferences between the countries. Third major aspect is monitoring aspect. Government to government monitoring will not pay because of the distance. The very high level visit will take once in 5 years, 10 years. Foreign minister level visit will take once in 2 years, 5 years. Time has come now. The Latin American embassies in India, our embassies in Latin America, they should have some kind of monitoring linkage. What we can do, how to process opportunities which are coming, and how to monitor them. Then pass it to the level of foreign ministers or government. Then implementation becomes easier. Last is, we are talking about culture. So for example, when International Yoga Day started, the only continent which accepted yoga as part of their study curriculum, that was Latin America. Almost 103 universities of Latin America have yoga courses. But how to commercially utilize them, train them, exchange teachers, students, etc. That is the next thing we must talk about. So for example, biotechnology, we have lots of cooperation with Argentina. Sending students in the biotechnology area, which is very important for India's agricultural future, we must study that and open up the universities in Latin America. Language is not such a big problem. That barrier can be crossed. Then the performing arts. Lots of students, lots of teachers practice performing arts in Latin America. Institutionalized exchange of information, contact, and promoting them through ICCR and Ministry of Culture in an active way is also another thing. When we are talking about LAC First, first thing is that we must identify opportunities. We must try to put them in front of the target people, that is the trade and business, for the people and people contact, travel and tourism agencies, and policymakers. Then there is no limit. I believe there are enough scope to exploit and reach, say, $100 to $150 billion trade. And basically, our imports are absolutely limited, while the potential in our edible oil security I'm talking about, or petroleum imports and other things, there are tremendous possibilities. We all must study this seriously and maybe through this kind of meetings, try to increase awareness and opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Khatwa. May I now invite Mr. Shamik Joshi, Head Pre-Sales and Gateway, Amnex Technologies Private Limited.
Good morning, Honorable Ambassadors, His Excellency, and the dignitaries on dais. The IT infrastructure that India has created is sovereign. Now, this has enabled the government schemes and programs to reach out to the citizens at large. And as a result of this, the leakages in the systems have reduced. In addition to that, the systems and schemes have become extremely wide, wherein they have reached out to people at large and citizens who were earlier not aware of government schemes. And this digital public infrastructure is now being enabled by various government agencies along with artificial intelligence. The role of artificial intelligence here is critical, wherein what various government departments are doing is ensuring that citizens can reach out to people in their vernacular language and they can interact with the government so as to obtain services. I think this model that India has developed is extremely inclusive, and it is a model that ensures that data sovereignty is maintained. Now, this model can be utilized by various countries in the LAC region. These models include identity programs, like India implemented Aadhaar. Aadhaar was a key identity program through which every citizen in the country got an identifier. And then, on top of that, various government schemes, as well as private sector, then started using this identity in order to offer services to those citizens, and even businesses started offering services to the citizens based on these identifiers. Similarly, the Department of Agriculture in India has created an identifier in order to create land repositories and repositories of all the farmers across the country. By virtue of this, what is happening is that every single farmer who desires to avail benefits already has the farm, land, the crop, and the details of the farmer himself available with the government. As a result of which, government exactly knows when the farmer has sown, what the farmer has sown, what is the health of the crop, and what are the agriculture inputs required. The agriculture inputs could be in terms of additional irrigation that is needed. The agriculture inputs can be in terms of farm mechanization. It can be in terms of fertilizers and pesticides and insecticides. By creating this identifier, the government now knows about every single farmer and the crop that is being produced. In addition to that, the banks and insurance companies have also started utilizing these farmer IDs. The banks are utilizing it in order to do preferential lending to the sector. Agriculture remains a sector wherein there are significant amount of people who don't have credit history. And by virtue of this farmer ID, government, the PSU banks as well as private banks are able to understand the wherewithal from a credit rating perspective, whether the farmer has the propensity to pay back the loan or not. Now, this is then used by the banks in order to give out preferential lending to the farmers. Similarly, insurance companies are also utilizing this data in order to settle claims when there are insurance disputes. Now, this DPI infrastructure, DPI rail, which has been created across various sectors, be it identity in case of Aadhaar, be it health in form of ABHA, be it agriculture in form of AgriStack, be it payments in terms of the UPI infrastructure that has been created. All these technology solutions essentially can be deployed in a sovereign manner across the LAC countries. And here, these solutions can be adopted. India can play a big role in ensuring that the local sovereign requirements of these countries are met. The solutions can be adopted and implemented by technology companies like Amex from India, along with local participation there, in order to ensure that inclusivity and sovereignty across the entire region is in place, and we ensure that the social programs, which are already present across the entire Latin America and Caribbean countries, are given out to the citizens. And the only way to reach out to the citizens is through technology. Technology can ensure that information is communicated to the citizens on a timely basis. Schemes-related information is communicated to the citizens. When this information is communicated to the citizens, the trust in the system will improve. And when the trust improves in the citizen, the faith in democracy also improves. As a result of which, the countries also progress and the people move hand in hand. So the request here is to look at India's DPI infrastructure, look at how India has implemented these solutions, and align with technology providers like us in order to ensure that such solutions are implemented in LAC and the citizen beneficiary programs are implemented in a robust manner. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Joshi. We now invite Mr. Bruno Villa, Country Manager, India and Southeast Asia, Berkey's BWE India Private Limited.
Well, thank you to all of you. Good morning. First, I want to thank Mr. Alberto Wani who introduced us and give us the opportunity.
Vertex real estate, sorry, Vertex Concession. R&K is a road construction company, and we have BWE, our energy division, the one we have present here in India. We have our headquarters in Montevideo, Uruguay, and then through our energy division, we have offices in Madrid, Copenhagen, which is our engineering department, and here in the who we are. I am here with Nami Chan, who is the engineering head and PMP for the Indian work, and I am the country manager. I was moved from Uruguay to India mid of 2025, so I am learning about this wonderful country. What we do here in India, we have our engineering office to give support to all the activities worldwide. We have a sourcing hub also here to support our global operations. And then we have biomass and waste to energy boilers that we already installed 11 installations we have running with dry straw. And we are doing now the number 12, again, based on dry straw, helping also to reduce this pollution problem that we have in Delhi at the end of the year. Why India? Well, I will not say nothing new here, but fast-growing economy, 6-7% of GDP, as you already know, massive industrialization and manpower, infrastructure investment is incredible what you can see here in the last 5 years. Yesterday, I arrived in the new airport in Noida. It's amazing. Energy demand keep increasing 6-7% annually. Global manufacturing is increasingly came to India. And of course, large engineer talent pool. Here, you have like 1.5 million of new engineers every year. So it's a 50% of the population of my country, for you to understand the huge amount of people. So India, of course, is not tomorrow. India is a today opportunity. Lesson learned in this almost 1 year that I am here. Relationship come before contract. Business in India is built on trust. Face-to-face meetings are mandatory here. WhatsApp, phone calls, much more important than emails. Long-term relationship for sure, and here you can feel that people buy from people. It's not only the company name, people trust a lot in the people who is leading the business. Speed matters, and this is one of the most important things. Move quickly here. You receive one RFQ today, tomorrow they are asking for the price, and the day after you can have the quotation and close the contract. What take here in our business, at least with industrial clients, boiler business, 1 month, 2 months from the RFQ to sign the contract. In Europe, that we have present also, we take 1 year, 2 years. So the speed here is amazing. So it's true, it's a real situation. So you must to react fast to be in this market for sure. What to avoid? Trying to manage India from remotely. It's not possible. You need to have presence here. And of course, we need to be careful about the IPR, but this is as in any country. So understanding the culture is the key to success here as a company. So my big surprise, as a Latin American guy, as I say, I am from Uruguay, we often think that we understand relationship and flexibility, but India put this in another level. Hospitality, entrepreneurial spirit, optimism, scale and speed here is very often much more easier than in South America. And another important thing I want to say that the patient has rewards here. After you establish the trust, it's much easier to make business with clients. So as a final thought, when I arrived to India, I suppose the challenge will be in understand the culture or the business, how to lead with business. But to be honest, I discovered that negotiating with the Indian customers is easier, much easier than negotiating with Indian chilies. Actually, people is amazing here, and the challenge for me is still to try to eat spicy food. So for Mexican guys, Peruvian guys, you have the 50% done. It's more than welcome to help anyone to make business here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And now, so Mr. Villa, it was really wonderful to hear what you just said and shared, and it was so warm, heartfelt, and straight came from your heart. So thank you so much. So now we move on to invite our guest of honor. I'm sorry, we have just one more where we will share. May I now invite Mr. Rakesh Gupta, Chief Strategy Officer of RISE, to please come in.
Excellencies, representatives from the Ministry of External Affairs, business leaders, other delegates, and of course members of FIEO. It is indeed a privilege for me to represent RISE Limited, a Government of India undertaking and one of the India's leading infrastructure consultancy organization. I would also like to congratulate India Empire and FIEO to bring together business leaders, diplomats, and decision makers of India and Latin America and Caribbean region on one platform. As the world is looking towards building trusted partnership and global South cooperation, forums like this become extremely important. Many of us knows RISE as primarily as a railway consulting organization. However, over the past 5 decades, RISE has emerged as one of the leading infrastructure consultancy organizations. We are present in more than 55 countries and handling more than 700 projects across various sectors such as highway, railways, ports, airports, metros, urban mobility, sustainability, leasing of locomotives, and export of rolling stock. Our strength lies in providing end-to-end solutions, that is from concept and feasibility study to detailed design, project management, and even supervision also. Over the past 5 decades, RISE has delivered projects across Asia, Latin America, Middle East, and LAC region. Our international exposure ranges from railways in Ghana, highways in Botswana and Guyana, these both are Latin American countries, metro in Mauritius metro project is RISE venture, and then ports in Myanmar and Indonesia, and airport in Nepal. We are present in all the diversified infrastructure transport consultancy across the globe, and we have successfully demonstrated and delivered the projects in the past. The global exposure enables us to bring international best practices while remaining sensitive to the local requirements. Apart from international presence, we are also present pan-India, and we are having our regional office in all the major cities of the country. We are not only offering our services in traditional infrastructure and consultancy services, we are very much into a niche segment such as bridges, tunnels, and even in roadway segment also. We are also in the business of leasing of locomotives and also in the business of exports of rolling stock. And presently, we are about to supply 200 coaches to Bangladesh, which will come in from next month. So I think this is the most important part, why RISE matters for LAC. The conference is about building stronger India-LAC relationship, and I believe infrastructure can play a very important strong pillar in that. Infrastructure not only creates economic growth, but it also creates connectivity, it also creates jobs, international competitiveness, and trade. RISE already has a very successful track record in the Latin America and the Caribbean region. In Colombo, we are associated with supply of rolling stock and locomotive maintenance. Similarly, in Chile and Peru, we have supplied locomotive spare parts. In Ghana, we have undertaken major highway assignments, including the East Bank, East Coast road linkage project, detailed design consultancy, and even the construction supervision of that particular project. These assignments, what we have delivered in past, demonstrate our ability to work successfully within the region and contribute to national infrastructure development. Now, what RISE can offer to LAC? Because I can see a lot of business leaders and diplomats and delegates are there. So, how we can contribute to national infrastructure development? Today, RISE offers a comprehensive range of services across infrastructure segments. So, I will play one by one. I will not take much of the time. Like for railways and metros, we provide feasibility studies, DPRs, design consultancy, project management, and quality assurance. Similarly, for highways, we offer planning, engineering design, construction supervision, and asset management solutions. For ports, airports, urban mobility projects, we support government and agencies from concept to commissioning. In addition, RISE has significant experience in environmental and social impact assessments, sustainable mobility planning, and green infrastructure development. In short, we help transform infrastructure ideas into successfully implemented ideas. Friends, India and the LAC region are natural partners. The region possesses abundant natural resources, project delivery capabilities, and cost-effective solutions. At RISE, we see tremendous opportunities for collaboration in railways, highways, urban transport, logistics, ports.
देखा फ्रिज मुझे भी नहीं छोड़ता इसीलिए स्ट्रीक्स है सीरम फ्रिज गॉन स्मूथ शाइन ऑन बस 3 पंप्स Go फ्रिज से फ्री स्ट्रीक्स है सीरम शॉप नाउ ऑन Amazon.
Thank you very much. I look forward to the meaningful discussion and partnership. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rakesh Gupta, for that wonderful presentation. And now it is my honor to invite our guest of honor, Dr. K.J. Alphonse, former Union Minister of Tourism, Independent Charge, and former Minister of State for Electronics and Information Technology, distinguished author, public figure, and long-standing friend of several countries across Latin America.
Your Excellencies, my batchmate Ambassador Katua, and members of the Federation of Indian Export Organization, ladies and gentlemen, I can't see the first row. Flowers, just go away. So good morning, everybody. I was asking my very dear friend. No, it's okay. Yeah, Mr. Sanicharji, whom I'm known for, what, 42 years? No, 32 years. Ever since I came as Commissioner of Delhi Development Authority in 1992, he was a senior correspondent with the Indian Express. So I've known him from those days. He used to put me on the front page of his newspaper every day. He looks the same. I mean, just telling him that he looks like Hollywood. Yeah. He has engaged one day after I met him 32 years back. I don't know what he eats, what he breathes. Certainly not Delhi air. It can't be. Yeah. So Your Excellency, very happy to see all the ambassadors from Latin America. I had the privilege when I was a tourism minister of visiting several Latin American countries. I will not name them because I went to 6 countries because there are 32 countries there. If I name them, I'll get into trouble with the other countries. So I shall not name which other countries to which I went. I was so fascinated because I grew up reading Marquez and Pablo and Neruda, And so I was always been fascinated. 2 years back, my son just disappeared into the Amazon for a whole month. He said, sorry, Dad, there won't be no mobiles, no connections. When I'm away, if I'm alive, I'll call you after 30 days. That's nice, isn't it, my elder son? And he called after 30 days, said, I'm alive. I had the most fantastic time of my life. I mean, it's incredible what Latin America is. Such an incredibly beautiful country, the Amazon forest, the people who are so fascinating, even to so many of their cultural programs, the dances, they are alive. People who are so completely alive when they get onto the dance floor, when they get to singing. I think it's amazing people. I'm really fascinated. And as former tourism minister, I'm so sad so few Indians go there. We all want to go to Thailand. For what? Thailand is not a bad place. But what? Yeah. Penang. I've been to all those places. But these Latin America is so fascinating in terms of culture. If we are a 10,000-year-old civilization, the Aztec civilization is as old as the Indian civilization, or even older, I don't know. So they have a very fascinating country. My friend Katwa, my batchmate, gave you all the numbers. He's a man for numbers. So am I. But I'm not going into numbers because he gave you all the numbers. This is not a happy situation in which we are an incredible country, greatly talented people, incredible brains, and then why is it that we do so little with Latin America, which is one of the most richest continents in the whole world? Why is that? Because you guys don't want to go. You guys are lazy. Now, I'm sorry, I'm very blunt, I'm ruthless, if you know my history. When I came to Delhi as Commissioner of India, I said, you touch 1 inch of my land and I'll blast your brain. Sorry, I'm ruthless. Not one illegal brick was laid when I was Commissioner at EDA. I knocked on 14,310 illegal buildings of the mafia. I carried a gun all my life. My wife got beaten up, my kids got beaten up, but that's part of my job. Why aren't you guys going? You're all happy doing your little things. When you find that Punar Shah has become, the chief of CEO of Meta, we all feel very happy. Why the hell, Cred, which is an Indian company, we bought over by Meta, and then we